So this is a recently installed CertainTeed Landmark Pro asphalt shingle roof. One of the key factors in installing an asphalt shingle roof properly is nailing. So you can see how we cannot pull up any of these shingles. They adhered down properly. So one of the most common installation errors is bad nailing. We see that a lot with other contractors and poor installations. Because of that, we do not use pneumatic nail guns, we hand nail. A pneumatic nail gun can overdrive the nail where the nail shoots all the way through the shingle. It could underdrive the nail where the nail is poking up and another shingle lays on top of it and the nail pokes through. Or a nail gun will drive in the nail crooked. And roofers will brag about doing a roof correctly in less than a day. And I don't understand how that can happen when thousands of nails are going in a roof and they're tearing off the old roofing materials, installing these thousands of nails and doing it properly within a day. Probably doesn't happen. So we don't use pneumatic nail guns, we use a hammer. We know a hammer works right every time. Our company's best test was Hurricane Sandy, Superstorm Sandy. At that point we had around 15,000 customers. We had 0 shingles blow off of any of our roofs. There were tarps all over the place throughout our community. But those roofs were done by other roofers that didn't nail properly. These shingles have a 110 mile-an-hour wind rating. When they're fastened properly, they will withstand 110 mile-an-hour winds. Superstorm Sandy had 85 mile-an-hour sustained winds in the Philadelphia area, so none of our shingles blew off of any of our roofs. This edge detail down here is ice and water shield installed 3 feet up the slope or 18 inches inside the heated space. We also installed a intake vent down here called Edge Vent is the manufacturer, but CertainTeed has their own private label now, so this is a CertainTeed intake vent. You have a starter course and then the first course of shingles, and then we work our way up the slope. Down here we have a 5-inch copper half-round gutter with heavy-duty copper hangers that are deck mounted, so they bend underneath the gutter, go up underneath the roof deck, and are fastened into the roof deck itself. These are installation manuals from the 3 largest shingle manufacturers in North America. GAF, who is the largest, Owens Corning, who's the 2nd largest, and CertainTeed, who's the 3rd largest. These 3 major manufacturers have installation manuals. It's an interesting statistic here, but less than 1% of the roofers in North America have read these 3 manuals and passed any type of an exam. Less than 1%. This is our criteria for installing a roof. We hold ourselves accountable by saying we're going to follow these manufacturer specifications, and when a roof is installed right, it will outperform what the manufacturers say. So these manufacturers give a lifetime warranty, which means it's the lifetime of the second homeowner, and the materials are guaranteed to be free of defects. They will also pay for the labor to replace materials. If we install the roof though, our goal is to be able to provide you with a workmanship warranty. It's completely different than labor. Workmanship means that these manufacturers will stand behind our installation errors if we were to have any, and there would be no out-of-pocket expense to the homeowner.